Kia ora, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of The Drop Clutch with me, Ricky V. In this series, I'm interviewing as many metal drummers from around New Zealand as I can get to, just to get some insight into what makes these guys and girls tick. Now, tonight's guest is a long time hero of mine. I've been watching him play drums since fucking forever. He is the drummer for Slave Cadaver. He is the drummer for Mammathus, and he was also the drummer in Slayer cover band Criminally Insane. I have Jay Rodeo. Jay, how we doing, bro?
Good, bro. How are you?
Fucking woo! Awesome, bro. Ready to fucking get into it with you, man. So, speaking of which, to get us started, Jay, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself, about your history? Give us a bit of a rundown on that, please.
So, yeah, I've been playing drums since I was 13. Played in a heap of bands. So I'm in, Mammothus, Slave Cadaver. Was in the Slayer tribute a few years ago. But I've got a few more bands going at the moment. Project Blood is an industrial band from Palmy, and a band called Azure, which is actually the first band I was ever in. Started back in 1997. We're sort of hoping to be able to play some gigs again soon. Been doing a bit of recording for a new band called Rook, which is some old guys in the goth band I used to be in called Serena. I'm also in a White Zombie tribute, Leonard Skinner tribute, doing a one-off Wasp tribute and Crowbar tribute in a couple of weeks, and also in the Fleetwood Mac experience. So yeah, keep myself busy.
Fucking do you ever? Jesus Christ, man. Holy shit. So you mentioned that you got started drumming when you were 13, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Long time ago.
Long time ago. What got you started drumming?
I've just always liked music. My old man got me some cassettes when I was young. You know, it was like a best of Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, you know, all the good old stuff. And just from there, moved on to all the, you know, as you do, just like a gateway drug, move on to the heavier, harder stuff, you know. Just always loved music. And I got a little toy drum kit for like my 12th birthday, something like that. And, you know, I was just started playing on that, and then saved up, got myself my own drum kit, and had a few lessons at school, but mostly self-taught, you know. Just I learned stuff just by listening to it, really. Just smash it heaps and get it stuck in my head, and then I'm usually good to go, you know, as long as I've got the structure down and everything. And yeah.
Sure. Sweet as, man. You, of course, being one of the older hands now, so you remember a time before YouTube where the only way to learn was by listening, which obviously for the better now. We don't have to worry about that because we can just go on YouTube and look. But yeah, I remember those days as well, very much so.
It's quite handy sometimes, you know, if you're not really sure of something, you just look up what someone else has done and just go, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just borrow some of that or whatever,
Yeah, well, one of the ways that I've learned a number of things, because I'm self-taught as well, is by watching the videos, seeing what the drummer is doing, where their hands are, what their sticking is, and then going and applying it. And that's been really fucking helpful. So, you know, some days we don't know how lucky we are. That's for sure. Right. So tell us, please, Jay, who are some of your favorite drummers?
Well, I think my favorite, probably, and having to pick one, would be Ian Pace, who was in Deep Purple. He's just quite underrated. He's got just a real nice feel, and you know, just fast and nice technique, everything. Then there's, you know, all the usual Lombardo, Lars, Ken Owens, who played in Carcass. He was quite sort of sloppy and punky, but it just fit the music perfectly, you know, what he was doing. And then Brant Bjork from Caius, he said he was never a good drummer, but he just, would just play loud and just ride on the crash and the ride just to fill up the sound, which is something I use in Mammothus just to make that sound really big, seeing we're just a three-piece sort of thing, you just try and make it as big as you can. And a lot of people say that my style reminds them of Gene Hoglan, which is
Ah,
one of my favorites as well. He plays open-handed, which I do a little bit as well. I actually play ambidextrous, so I just find that it makes it easier to play certain beats when you can just play it open in certain bits, or just swap over, just whatever you're doing. You can have the ride on either side,
sure,
so it works quite cool. Yeah.
sure. Are you a lefty? Because I've seen you play in fucking 200 plus BPM skanks with your left hand, and so like, are
Yeah.
you a lefty or did you just learn?
I'm right-handed, but I do play the faster those sort of skank beats with the left hand. And when I play, the death metal stuff is I have the ride on the left hand side, so I can do I'm not so good at it on the right hand. Sort of find it
Really?
easier to lead with the left one. Yeah, yeah. So usually have it on the left for that one, and then for any other stuff, I just have the ride on the right, or if I can have two rides set up, that's pretty cool too. But just
Sure.
usually, yeah.
That's really fucking interesting. Was that through not having much choice because of whatever setup you had, or is that just you've just naturally fallen to relying on your left for a lot more?
Yeah, just kind of how it naturally developed, I guess, from playing, and
Really?
just found that was when I first started playing that kind of music, just the left hand seemed to be faster, I guess, and just felt more natural, I suppose, to play it that way.
Really? That's fucking cool, man.
Mm.
I'm now, 20 years into playing drums. I'm now starting to integrate my hand a little bit more with, the rhythms.
Mm.
But it's just simple quarters. Like, yeah,
Mm.
that's crazy that you gravitated towards that. Cool. So you've already mentioned, obviously, uh, Gene having an influence on your
Mm.
style.
Definitely.
You have over the years had the opportunity to see a lot of really great drummers live. But can you tell us who your favorite or some of your favorites are that you've got to see live?
Um, well, yeah, that's a hard one because I've seen heaps of them. I've done lots of work setting up gigs as well, roadie work and things like that as well. So getting to meet some of these guys has been really cool too. Um, but in terms of seeing live, I saw Sepultura with Eloy Casagrande. Is that his
Oh,
name?
yeah,
He's a monster, eh? He's just
monster.
it's so hard in that, eh? He was awesome. Oh, Mike Borden from Faith No More. Seen them a few times. He's another real hard hitter. He just has his toms like perfectly flat. So, and like these massive like meter long sticks or something with like he like plays with the back hand of the stick. The thick end and just smashes them. Eh? He's he's pretty awesome. Eh? Um,
Sure.
can't think of anyone else at the moment off the top of my head. Eh?
Oh, that's all good.
Yeah.
Who have you roadied for?
um, a heap of the death metal bands that have come through lately: Obituary, Napalm Death, Carcass. Uh, yeah, heaps of them. Hey, lent my drum kit to a few of them, which is really cool.
Hmm.
It's got a bit of history. It's been played by just about every metal drummer in Wellington and probably New Zealand as well over the years. I think else has played it. Yeah, heaps of them, man. I can't remember. Did AC/DC and some of the bigger bands, Guns N' Roses,
Whoa,
all those sort of ones. Yeah, they were pretty
fucking
cool.
hell. How'd you get hooked up with that?
Just through friends, mainly, in the industry, and yeah, just it's who you know, eh?
Sure.
Usually.
Sure, that
Hmm.
is a very big thing. So this is a hard one, and I know that it's going to be a hard one because you play so much. But if you had to, if the gun was pointed at your head, how would you describe your style?
Um, just solid, I suppose. Don't play too flashy, I don't think. I just like to think and just play what the song or the band or the music sort of needs. More than anything, I mean, I can play that sort of faster stuff as well. And someone asked me if could you play sort of psychroptic kind of drums and all that, and it's like, yeah, I'm sure I could, but putting all of that effort into it, it's kind of it's cool and that, and like the shit that all these drummers do is just amazing. It's really impressive, eh? But just for the amount of effort to learn it myself, I don't know if I'd just what's the word? Lost my trail of thought completely, man.
No, you're all good,
but
bro.
but yeah, I just play what the songs need. I guess from playing in lots of different kinds of bands helps. You develop a style that way. I've uh, I've even played in a country band. Played in
Oh
a
yeah.
goth band. Yeah, yeah, I've done all sorts of different styles. Reggae. The only one I haven't done is jazz. I never got my head around that really. And again, I could probably learn it, but
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I can be bothered. Really, I feel like I'm good at rock and metal, so yeah, just stick at that. It's a little bit like other instruments too. It's like I play a bit of bass and other stuff, but it's sort of like, I'm good at drums, so stick to that. It's easy.
Sure, sure. Well, following on from you being a bit of an everyman, I understand you also have written some children's books.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, it's not
yeah.
exactly drum related, but I would really love to hear a
Hmm.
little bit about that, bro, because that's real fucking awesome.
So it was just a Christmas present for my son at the time. When he was turning 3 on Christmas, and I'm an artist as well, cartoonist, graphic design, all that sort of stuff. And I just thought I'll put together a book. He was just right into all the typical stuff boys are into, diggers and trucks and trains and things like that. So I made him a book called Animals and Vehicles, which was just basically, trying to think of things that rhyme with animals that rhyme with vehicles, so like a pig in a digger, a duck in a truck, all that sort of thing. Um, and showed it to a few friends that had kids as well, and they liked it as well. So ended up printing a few more out, and then ended up getting a distributor, and sold about 1,500 copies of them now. Hey, that first one,
Holy
Animals and Vehicles.
fuck.
So yeah, and they've actually done, I think, 8 or 9 books now, kids' books. Um,
Holy shit.
yeah. So it's a bit like music, though. It's not exactly a lucrative career choice. It's not,
Sure.
you're not raking in the millions or anything. But it's cool, man. And like made another book for my other son when he was 3 as well, the younger one. So yeah, it's cool, man. It's something different again.
Fuck yeah. That's fucking
Mm.
awesome, man. Big props to you for sure. Cool. So getting back to music. So we'll use Mammothus as the example. Can you tell us what the writing process is for Mammothus, please?
um, well, we usually just get in the jam room, have a few riffs and things, and just jam it out, and see what comes of it. Try and record it and listen back, um, and yeah, just see where we go from there. None of us are particularly good at lyrics or anything, so um, sort of singer comes up with them sort of later on. But yeah, that's pretty much how we do it for that band. For Slave Cadaver, we're all in different different parts of the country. So we've got a guitarist who's in New Plymouth. I'm down in Kapiti Coast. Some of them are in Wellington, and then the other guitarist is in Featherston. So it's a little bit harder to write stuff there. So we kind of, for that band, we just sort of we haven't really written anything that new for a while. I mean, we just had like a 20-year anniversary thing last year.
Sure.
So been around a while. We're trying to get our first album done, hopefully soon, get that completed. But it's a little bit harder process when everyone's living so far apart and everything. So sort of sending riffs to each other and things like that. Sort of.
Sure. A couple of questions off that. Excuse me. So, with the jams, the writing collaboratively. So most of the guys that I've talked to, and it seems to be a pretty common thread, most bands out there have one person writing, and then everything, and everybody kind of takes their cues from that. Being in a jam band or a collaborative band is actually pretty rare, or at least as far as I've seen, it's not as frequent. Whereas, for me, every band that I've been in has been a collaborative effort. There's not been one person writing everything. Yeah, it's how do you find that process? Because it can be pretty difficult at times.
Yeah,
So
it is
tell
quite
us.
unusual.
Yeah,
It is unusual. I mean, usually there's a few guitarist writes a few riffs, or the bass player sort of thing, and so we've got a basic sort of foundation or structure, I guess. We just kind of I mean, it can be tough because you jam through riffs, and sometimes you record it, you think, like we've done this heaps of times, and recorded stuff, and thought, fuck, that's really cool, sort of thing, and go back, listen to it a week later, it's like, oh, fuck, it's all rubbish, or none of us like it again, or whatever, so it's I don't know, it's just filtering through, getting to the good stuff, I guess, and then something that everyone likes as well, that kind of thing.
sure.
I mean, it is. I think it is a lot easier if you do have one or two people just doing the majority of the stuff.
Mm.
Sometimes it's like you can sort of put in your 2 cents on, this might be cool here, or throw something in there structure-wise and all that sort of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And then second question was, do you guys have a code word for saving the progress? Because we call it saving the file. Whenever we are writing new stuff, one of us will pipe up and be like, save the file, just so that we don't forget it. Is there a phrase that you guys use, or you guys aren't that dorky?
No, we're not that professional, bro.
Okay.
we should. That's maybe I'd suggest that to them. It's not a bad idea. Something like that. That might be helpful way to get stuff done. I mean, like I say, that Slave Cadaver stuff. Some of the songs that we're recording or have recorded, some of those songs are like 18 years old, and just now sort of seeing the light of day. So
Sure.
it's a long process, particularly with that being
Yes.
bunch of stoners.
Well, yeah, that's part of the problem. We don't do it anymore, but we used to get have a smoke before jamming, and a similar thing would happen where it would sound great on the night, and then we'd come back to it a week later and wouldn't be so fond of it. But also, if we didn't save the file, we would forget it. What was that riff, bro? What was that drum beat? So saving the file, very important.
Hey, that's why recording it is important, eh? So because
absolutely,
you just forget it completely otherwise.
Yeah, exactly right. Now, obviously you've been drumming for a long time, so you've pretty much worked out a lot of the kinks that you would have wanted to. But is there a specific technique that you are practicing or working on improving at the moment?
No, not really. I don't really tend to play very much unless I'm gigging or practicing. I've got heaps of bands and projects and things, but only like really one or two of them are really like regular sort of things, or playing regularly, practicing regularly. A lot of the other ones, like the tribute bands and things, we'll just sort of have a jam if we've got a gig booked, and all that. So nothing really. Something might give a go one day is the old gravity blast. Like I know that how you do it, the technique and everything. I've just never really sat down and worked it out. Because sort of my preference is just that old school blast, the old suffocation, Mike Smith sort of, just everything all at once, hard out, as fast as you can go kind of thing. But, the whole gravity thing, it sort of seems a bit like you're cheating or something. I don't know. just like to play as fast as you can,
Sure.
But one day I'll give it a go, because it'd be cool to use that for all the death metal stuff, especially.
Fuck yeah.
Just chuck it in there.
Fuck yeah. All right. So this is a game that I like to call first, last, best, and worst, Jay. So you are going to tell us about the first show that you ever played, the last show that you played, what the best show is that you've played. There's a couple of caveats with that, and the worst show that you've played. A couple of caveats with that as well. But let's get started. Take us back into time, please, sir. What was the very first show that you ever played?
First one would have been, I guess, I set up a thing at my school, my college. We just played in the school quad. It was the seventh form's last day of school, so they had water bombs flying around everywhere. So we had to tell them to keep it away from all the amps and things. But then I think the first proper gig was at James Cabaret. It was a gig that someone had set up, and that was with my band Azure. Played that one, and we just did. We were just doing covers and things, Sepultura, and all the kind of. I don't know, there was a few sort of random covers in there, but just stuff like that. That was a cool gig. That was 1999.
Holy shit!
Was. So yeah,
a couple of years ago
going back
now.
a little way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. What was the last show that you played?
Haven't done too many this year. I think it was actually it was called Ritual Fest up in New Plymouth. Infinity Ritual put it on. Who it's mean as New Plymouth stoner band. It was cool. It was a real sick lineup. Had Boss and Bullet Belt, and a band from New Plymouth, another one called Caldera.
Yep.
Who were they're fucking cool. And Mammothus. I don't think I'm missing anyone out there, but that was an awesome gig too. We used to play shows in New Plymouth all the time, and it was always a good time, eh? And it seems like the scene's coming back there, which is really cool. It's good to see.
Sure. Fuck yeah. Cool. So, can you now tell us about the best show that you've ever played? Now, this can be you played the best. This can be it was the best gig, best turnout. It can be, whatever. Just, what was the best show that you've ever played, please?
Well, there's been a heap of them. Last year we had our Mammothus album release show at Valhalla. That was a really cool one. That was just cool because it was a big turnout. Everyone was there from the start for the first opening band. It was just a real good vibe all night. So that one was cool. That was a standout. And the other one's got to be when Slave Cadaver supported Carcass at the Transmission Room in Auckland, 2008. That was a cool show, man. It was like the loudest gig, one of the loudest gigs I've ever been to, but like the sound was just crystal clear. Like you could hear everything. Really nice, eh? But just loud, man. And
Sure.
that was cool too, because Slave Cadaver started off as a Carcass cover band, so
true.
almost kind of like full circle, getting to support them kind of thing. So that was really cool. Yeah,
Awesome.
It was very cool.
Sweet. And lastly, what is the worst show that you've ever played? Now, similarly, this can be, um, you played the worst, something bad happened, something funny happened while you were playing, something bad happened in the crowd. This is really open for interpretation as well. Please, Jay, what was
Mm,
the worst show that you've ever played?
yeah, there's almost too many of them, mate, to mention. I I remember we played a gig in Wanganui once at the Castle Cliff Pavilion, which is like this little hall right on the beach in Castle Cliff in Wanganui. It was a real cool place. You literally like step outside onto the sand by the beach, and
Sure.
I think Slake Daver and one of my old bands, Athea, um, played that one, and we was just setting up Athea set, and had all my cymbals set up and everything, and I just reached over to grab the boom stand. It had the cymbal already set up on it, and I sort of grabbed it by the pole holding it
Yep.
up to move it around. And as I sort of lifted it up, the cymbal that was on it came down and went right across the bridge of my nose, right across there,
Oh,
and
fuck.
split my nose open. And yeah, luckily no one saw it. Except I think my girlfriend. So yeah, spent that gig with blood pissing down my face, and um, yeah, I remember another gig. I got my hair caught in the fan
Holy
after we
shit.
played. Um, yeah. um, oh man, there was another one where we supported a band called Beyond Terror, Beyond Grace. They're an Australian grindcore band, um, and our guitarist had just left the band, so it was his last show with us, and he just got completely shit faced and he just decided to play just his own thing that night. He was like playing blues solos over, all this death metal sort of stuff. So yeah, there was a bit of a abortion, that one, but
Oh, fuck.
I'm sure there's heaps others. But yeah.
Sure.
Oh, there was one we did in Hamilton. It was a Gemini party, which is one of Paul Martin's birthday parties he used to put on for himself.
Okay.
Years ago, I was playing in a Black Label Society tribute band, um, and we drove up to Hamilton, um, drinking all the way there. Turned up completely off my face and realised that I hadn't packed anything. So I had
Oh,
no cymbals, no snare, didn't even have any sticks. So
oh.
I don't know how we didn't notice until we got up to Hamilton, but then it was like, so ended up having to borrow everything there. Yeah, that was an interesting show. That one, it was cool from what I remember. But yeah,
Fuck.
that's I'm sure there's heaps more, but we should probably end it
Sure.
there.
Fuck. That's a lesson that you don't soon forget, eh?
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
hell.
Well, luckily his drummer was really cool, man. World War Four was his
Oh,
band
yeah.
at the time. And yeah, he was a real good dude, man. He was seemed pretty understanding, even though we were all off our face. And I don't even know how we played the gig. Really, it was yeah. I just remember I was lights were in my face, and I just couldn't see anything. It was that sort of when you're blind drunk. That's kind of yeah.
Oh,
There was
fuck. Oh, dear.
yeah.
All right. Wow. Well, that was a fucking journey. Thank you so much, Jay. Um, cool. So now we move on to the very last part of the show, bro. So this is where you get to make any plugs that you want to make. This is where you get to make any shout outs that you want to make as well. Jay, friend, sir, the floor is yours.
Yeah, shout out to all bands I've been in and am in, all the people that come to the shows, because it'd be pretty boring if you're just playing to an empty room. So it's always cool to have people come to shows and support. Yeah, just get out and support all the local bands. There's so many good bands out at the moment, man. There's like good healthy scene.
Mm.
All sorts of genres and things, eh? So yeah, get out there and get into it, eh? Now that we can, now that there's no restrictions, COVID restrictions, whatever, eh? Just now you don't have to sit down to watch gigs. It's cool as.
Yeah, fuck yeah. And have you got
Mm.
any gigs coming up in any of your 31 bands?
Yeah, with Fleetwood Mac experience. They have a big tour book, just the North Island this year. But we're playing some big venues up in Auckland, and we're playing all over the place, man. I don't know, social media stuff. Check out Facebook, all that sort of thing. To find out dates and things. We're meant to be playing the Opera House in Wellington, so that'll be a trip, man. Play something like that. Looking forward to that. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Okay. Oh, that's awesome. That
Um,
is fucking awesome. Well, Jay, speaking of awesome, this has been awesome, bro. You are a fucking star. Thank you so much for your time, man. I really fucking appreciate it.
Cheers, bro. Thanks for having us.
Fucking cheers to you. And cheers to you. Thank you so much for watching. This has been The Drop Clutch with me, Ricky V. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.